Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of Slipstream. Today we will be talking about FDA approval of donanemab for Alzheimer's treatment. For decades, Alzheimer's disease has been one of medicine's most formidable challenges, a progressive thief of memory and identity with no effective treatments. But this week, that story changed dramatically. Today we're breaking down the FDA's landmark approval of donanemab, a new treatment that actually slows Alzheimer's progression. This isn't just another drug approval, it's potentially the beginning of a new era in how we fight this devastating disease. On Thursday, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration granted full approval to donanemab, marketed as Kisunla by Eli Lilly. This decision came after overwhelming clinical trial data showed the drug can slow cognitive decline by 35% over 18 months in early-stage Alzheimer's patients. What makes this particularly significant is that it's the second drug in a new class of treatments that actually target the underlying disease process rather than just managing symptoms. Here's how it works. Donanemab is an intravenous antibody treatment that specifically targets and clears amyloid beta plaques, the sticky protein deposits that accumulate in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. These plaques are believed to disrupt cell function and trigger the cascade of damage that leads to memory loss and cognitive decline. The treatment is administered monthly, and patients can stop treatment once their amyloid levels drop below a certain threshold, which typically occurs within 6-18 months. The Phase 3 trial results, published just last month in JAMA, were remarkable. Among 1,736 patients with early symptomatic Alzheimer's, those receiving donanemab showed significantly slower cognitive and functional decline compared to placebo. The drug was particularly effective in patients with lower levels of tau protein, another Alzheimer's biomarker, showing up to 60% slowing of disease progression. However, there are important safety considerations. About 24% of patients experienced brain swelling, and 19% had microhemorrhages, though most were mild to moderate. The real-world impact here is profound. Alzheimer's affects over 6 million Americans and more than 55 million people worldwide. Before these new treatments, families had virtually no options once diagnosis occurred. Now, for the first time, we have treatments that can actually modify the disease course. The key is early detection. These drugs work best when amyloid buildup is addressed before significant brain damage occurs. This approval will likely drive increased screening and earlier diagnosis, potentially changing how we approach Alzheimer's prevention. There are practical challenges ahead. The treatment costs approximately $32,000 per year, and patients will need regular MRIs to monitor for side effects. Insurance coverage may vary, and healthcare systems will need to build infrastructure for administration and monitoring. However, Eli Lilly has announced a patient assistance program and cost caps based on income. Additionally, the ability to stop treatment once amyloid is cleared addresses both cost and convenience concerns compared to lifelong therapies. This approval represents more than just a new drug, it's validation of decades of Alzheimer's research and a sign that we're finally making real progress against this devastating disease. If this look at medical innovation was informative, join us tomorrow for more real-life news.